much money can you make as a hypnotist slash hypnotherapist? I'm throwing hypnotherapist in there because many of my students do have counseling or therapy backgrounds to support them. If you haven't seen my video on should I be a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist, go back and watch it so you understand why I am making that distinction in professional title here. But I want to look at how much you can make, because here is the reality. The date is May 7th, 2024. We are going into a down economy and inflation is up. And I am seeing people still promote 2013 session pricing to hypnotists. And what these people are doing, they are in a social worker mentality. Most of them have probably been in some helping profession. And I can say this from a point of experience because when I first started out and I was a nurse, I had a very difficult time charging appropriately for my services because in my heart, I wanted to help everyone. But we have people out there telling you that 50 to 150 pounds, which is like 75 to 200 US dollars, is what a hypnotist should charge, and that you can make about $47,000 a year. In today's market, if you were doing a face-to-face business, your rent and insurance and your utilities and everything that you use to deliver that service is going to eat up half of that. And then you have 27,000 left before your taxes. So if you're in the UK or the EU where you pay a large amount of taxes because your healthcare and everything is included, that's going to be impacted. If you're in the US, you're paying Social Security, you're paying Medicare tax and state taxes. That is going to eat into it. In the US, if you're not paying yourself as a W-2 employee, you can expect your taxes, Social Security, et cetera, to eat up about 25% of your gross income. So as you get into the net, those percentages go up. So let's look at when you're a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist, you are investing a lot of time in clients' transformations. That involves your personal energy, your mental energy, and your emotional energy. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to have space, not only to take care of yourself, but to run your business. In this modern internet world, you have got to create content and market unless you are plugged in to a very well-oiled referral network to keep clients coming in. Unless you have a lot of money to spend on ads, then you're going to have to do some marketing. And even if you are running ads, you still have to create that content to market. And consumers are becoming more savvy and they're beginning to know what their problems are and they're looking for the solution to their problem. They're not looking for hypnosis. I want to say that again. They're not looking for hypnosis. They're looking for the solution to their problem. So you want to learn how to speak to your clients where they are so that you can offer them the solution that you have, which you just happen to deliver using hypnosis. So let's look at the money numbers. There are people out there who we're just going to use $100 as a round number. Okay. There are people out there telling brand new hypnotists to either go do as many free sessions as possible, do it for free as often as you can, which if you're doing a classical training only and you are truly doing self-training after you do that basic certification, because a basic certification literally teaches you the basics and you have to go out and you have to hone your craft. So if you're in that situation where you really need to go out and do a lot of free practice sessions just to learn how to deliver a result, then yes, maybe you need to do free sessions to get to that point. hopefully you're in a hypnosis certification training that provides you with the systematic process that you can follow the process and you can get people real world results in as little as 2 weeks after you graduate from the training. So looking at this $100 an hour, when you look at the time it takes to acquire a client and then to actually deliver those services and all your expenses that come out in taxes, you're really not left with a lot at the end of the day. You become one of those entrepreneurs who puts in 80-hour weeks in your business and you might make $1,000 a week. That's not what you want. You want to be compensated fairly for the transformation that you're providing and for the time and the effort that you're putting into running your business. So let's say $10,000 months is a big number that gets thrown around in entrepreneur and business coaching circles, the $10,000 month. Let's just say that's your goal. And we're going to work backwards from there. But let's say that's your goal because $10,000 a month means your income breaks $100,000 for a year. There is a very small percentage of business owners that break 100,000, especially women. If you're a woman, I have a podcast episode with Natalie Bullen. It's from last year. I will link it under this video so that you can see what she says, because she quotes the numbers on women in entrepreneurship. And then she goes even deeper and she looks at minority populations and their numbers and the disparagement in the income that's earned. But if you want $10,000 months and you're only charging $100 a session, I'm going to tell you right now, an hour for a hypnosis session, you're crunched for time unless you're doing like a 20-minute script reading. If you're doing transformational work, if you're using advanced techniques, an hour's not long enough. You need 90 minutes. So let's say 90 minutes, which is 1.5. Let's go here. At $100 an hour, you want to make $10,000 a month. You need to see 100 clients in that month. So 100 times 1.5, 90 minutes equal 150 hours that you are going to be doing client delivery. Now, after every client, you're going to need a break. You're not going to rack and stack these people. You're going to have to eat. You're going to have to go to the bathroom. A client may run over, and my client may show up a few minutes late. And you have to accommodate for this. And you have to have time to do paperwork because you may not do your paperwork during the call. So for those 100 clients, we're going to add an extra half an hour for each of them, a 15-minute buffer before and after. So that's another 50 hours. That's 200 hours. Now let's divide this by 4 weeks. You're working 50 hours a week just in client delivery. In successful businesses, 20 to 25% of your time is spent on client delivery. The other 75 to 80 is spent on building your business. So let's just say you did a conservative 20% of your time business building. You're looking at a 65-hour work week. Is that what you trained for? Did you train for a 65-hour work week? I sure as heck no, I didn't. And pricing is one of the things I had to get over. When my graduates are getting ready to roll out into the world, because of the advanced techniques I'm teaching them, because of the transformations people can experience even when they're still new at what they are doing, I tell them do not charge less than $200 for a session. But I'm about to add a caveat to that. It's $200 if someone wants to come have a session with you and experience hypnosis. And I have a very specific session set up that I have taught my graduates. It's actually in the hypnosis resource library. I talk them through it. They're prepped for it. It's everything that they practice in training. We just have a very special script that we use, and we call this an icebreaker session. It is a confidence accelerator session for the client, and it gives them a taste of the deeper work that we do. So I tell them not less than $200 for that session, right? That's what they should charge. In terms of the deeper transformational work, I encourage them to charge for the outcome. What does that mean? Instead of charging by the session, if someone, say, wanted to come to me and they wanted to stop stress eating emotionally, like they hit a trigger and they'll stress eat and eat a whole bag of jelly beans, and I don't mean a little bag of jelly bellies, I mean a bag of jelly beans. If they want to break that cycle, and when we're talking, I can see that I can help them, I will charge them a flat fee for that transformation. So for a simple transformation like that, my flat fee is $2,500. So if I want a $10,000 month, all I need is 4 clients. Okay. So when my students, graduates, are new, I encourage them to not price under $1,000 for the transformation. I actually encourage them to price between $1,250 and $1,500 for the transformation. And here's why. When you're new and you're learning, it takes more sessions, right? It might take more sessions. Plus, you're putting more energy into reviewing materials and making sure that you're on point for that client. Now, this also encourages the hypnotist to accelerate their mastery of the skills. Because when you accelerate your mastery of the skills and you can get the result faster, then you're actually, you could say, making more money per hour, but that's really not true. You're not charging by the hour. And there are many, many hours you're spending building your business, marketing your business, and bringing in new clients. And that's why I say don't charge per hour and don't charge per session when you're doing longer transformation. So at $1,250 per transformation, that's 8 clients a month. You're going to spend 16 hours on client delivery. That means that you have 24 hours every week. If you're working a standard 40-hour week, you have 24 hours every week to work on marketing your business, tightening up your website if that's important to you. If you want to host workshops, you can do that. You have time. You have time to breathe. You have time to breathe. At $1,500 per transformation, you're working client facing 14 hours a week. And you now have 26 hours a week to work on building and marketing your business. I remember having a conversation with someone last year. She was a client and we connected for my signature package. So my signature package isn't just hypnosis, it's about transforming identity for people who really want to step into a more legacy driven version of themselves. So it's beyond like sugar cravings and just money mindset and things like that. But when she and I were talking, and we were talking about pricing, because that's one of the things that she came to me for. She runs a very successful program. She is well revered in spiritual circles. She has spoken on stage. She has done so many things. And she's ready to enter this phase in her life where she really grows her business. And time and money was becoming an issue. So I talked her through my way of leaning into pricing this way and increasing my prices. And I asked her one day, we were talking about the amount of money she wanted to make. I'm like, how many client facing hours a week do you have to do this? And she told me, and I said, so how many hours a week are you working on the business? And she told me, and I'm like, well, in reality, your client facing work, workshops, group programs, one-on-one, trainings, that should be 20 to 25%. If you want to work a 40-hour work week, it really shouldn't exceed 10 to 15 hours. Okay, it really should not exceed that. And the rest of the time should be spent building your business. So you need to, provided you're getting people the transformations that you're telling them you can get them. And yes, she's very experienced. She's a lovely soul. I said, if you can get that for people, then we've got to charge for that. We've got to charge for that. And while we were working together, she increased her prices, but she also changed her package. And that's something for an advanced business course or my business mentorship, what that looks like. But she increased those rates. And while a lot of people would have been afraid to increase their rates, she knew what she does was worth it. And when she put that out to people to work with her at that new rate, nobody questioned it. The number of people who wanted to work with her did not go down. So you get to look at, now I realize a lot of people are probably watching this video, and depending on your perspective and your point of view, you're either going to agree and you're going to be cheering and saying, yes, this is what I want, or you're going to be like, you can't do this, you can't do this. It's greedy. It's not greedy to want to be able to mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually serve people at the highest level. That being said, there are people who in their practice, they just want a small practice. They want to be local only. If you're working local only, then the demographics, the financial demographics of where you are is going to dictate your income level, because you can only see so many clients in a week before you yourself become sick, mentally, emotionally, or physically burned out. So if you want to make a significant income, and you're like I am here in Mississippi in a very socioeconomic depressed area, if you want to make really good money, you're going to have to go virtual, or you need to open your office in a place nearby, or you need to market it in a place nearby where there's an elevated socioeconomic status and people can pay your rates. Some people do sliding scale when they're small and they're local, and I understand that. But if you want to grow a business that is going to make you six figures and beyond, you have to look at where you are marketing your business. Is it a virtual business, or is it an in-person business? Because you have to pay taxes. You have to have health insurance. You want to be able to take a week off, right? So the other thing is, if you want to take 4 weeks a year off to go on vacation, if you're doing $10,000 a month, you could take 2 weeks off, 2 months off a year and still make $100,000, because you're going to make 120 if you're doing 10K 12 months out of the year. So it's not about what can I charge this person in the moment. It's about what's the lifestyle I want to have, and to not be greedy, right? To not be greedy in that process, but what do I need to live a thriving life? And when you start seeing that one-to-one, and if you say, you know what, I really want more financially, well, how can you leverage your time? If you don't want to raise your rates, how can you leverage your time to make that happen? And these are things that I talk about with my graduates who join the business mentorship program. We talk about how to go, first of all, how to build that base of one-to-one, and how to build it in a way that then we can transition into one-to-many, so that we get our time back. We're still impacting a lot of people, and we get our time back. So a hypnotist, you could make anywhere from $30,000, $40,000 a month, or you could make over 7 figures. It depends on how you want to serve, what it looks like, and how much inner work that you do to be able to embody that essence and that identity of what it is that you're creating and being confident in the transformation that you get people. And when you have a solid foundation in your hypnotic technique that you can build upon, you gain that confidence very quickly if you go out and implement what you have learned and begin to refine it right away. I would love to know your comments below, what you think about pricing and what you believe is possible in the world of hypnosis.